So I'm curious about whether or not you have style tips for women who are trying to find their style. I feel like the concept of figuring out who you are in terms of fashion has become such a packaged and meditated entity in 2015.
Yeah, I've always tried to wear what suited me, but I don't think I ever evolved into a different style. I think what suited me when I was 5, I still look the same. I mean, I have photographs where I look the same.
I guess I'm just so curious about how someone arrives at the destination of knowing what suits them.
I think just you walk outside and you feel comfortable. And I think you have to be conscious of what you look good in.
Yeah, I feel like my sense of whether or not I'm dressing like me always comes if I leave home and don't want to go back and change.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, of course. You feel comfortable and you just feel confident. And somebody actually asked me, well, how did you get to the gray hair and the glasses? And, you know, I inherited the gray hair. I just got it. I didn't ever want to dye my hair. And I wear glasses because I can't see. So it's not as if I chose this look. It kind of chose me.
I think I totally just figured out your style. You're very, very honest, and that's why you're capable of knowing yourself and therefore dressing yourself.
Yeah, no, I'm nothing if not honest. I just can't bear to lie about stuff. It's like I don't ever want to be a fraud. You know, that's scary to me.
So you recently released a fragrance under your label Rodin, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me a tiny bit about it?
Yes, it's a fragrance that I actually made. It came out last May, but to very little, we didn't do much of a push. And it's an ode to my mom. It's coming out this Mother's Day for real. And it's really just how my mother smelled when I was a kid. I don't know what perfume she wore, but I do know how she smelled. So I worked kind of verbally with my perfumer, David Maltz, and we really got it.
Building out your own beauty label is such a cumbersome task, and you've done it so phenomenally. You are now a partner with Estee Lauder. Can you talk to me a little about the process and maybe give some advice to pretty young things trying to build their own businesses?
Well, I think I wouldn't have been able to do this when I was a pretty young thing, because I wouldn't
Pretty moderately aged things
Yes.
trying to build their own businesses?
Well, I think it was necessity. I wanted something for myself, so that was the driving force.
Right.
But I never saw it as a business. And I think if I had envisioned where I am now, I would have just stopped dead in my tracks.
You would have been way too overwhelmed.
Paralyzed, yeah.
Do you feel like you look at big picture now, or you still try to take every day as it comes?
Yeah, every day as it comes. I've never had a plan in my life.
Yeah.
So this is not a new way of operating. It didn't fall into my lap, but once I made one thing and I saw that, you know, I would give it to models and hairdressers and everybody loved it. And I thought, oh, so maybe now I'm going to make, it still wasn't on the business trail, but I said, now I'm going to make body oil because I need that too. So I made products out of necessity, but I never saw the big picture. And I think when I heard that people loved it, I thought, wow, so I can have this very unique point of view that's totally mine, that other people find wonderful.
That's such a huge victory.
It was, and I was actually quite surprised. And that gave me confidence, and not that I would have changed it, you know, I would never do a focus group, I'm not that type. I don't want to know what everybody thinks, because then you boil it down to nothing. Because you can never please everybody, and I never wanted to be all things to all people in any aspect of my life.
That is very good advice also,
Yeah.
that when you get too many opinions, it boils your product down to nothing.
Yeah, or your life.
Remember that.
Or your life, or anything. You know, you can't get so many opinions, because then you've lost sight of what is meaningful to you.
People often ask me why I haven't launched a clothing label, and if I intend to, and I'm like, no, I'm the only person who's gonna buy those clothes.
Yes. Well, I would. So that's 2 customers. I would buy them in a heartbeat. But when it comes to things like food or wine or clothes or, how would anybody else know?
Have you ever been married?
No.
Have you ever, do you have any
Almost
regrets
4
about that?
times.
Almost 4 times.
Not to the altar, and no wedding invitations.
But you were engaged 4 times.
I thought this was going to be, that would be the next step in 4 different relationships, for sure. I just said to myself, I don't think so.
Wow.
I know. It's pretty funny.
Do you have any relationship regrets?
No. I had a great time with the people I was with, and I have no regrets about not being with them or being with them, or, you know. But I'm a loner anyway, so I don't, unless I lived in a house that had 2 wings, I wouldn't be able to manage it anyhow. So it was nothing that ever really, I never got on board with.
That's so inspiring for so many women who spend the majority of their 20s in pursuit of the perfect man.
Yeah. Oh, well, that doesn't exist anyway, so that's,
Do you have 3 pieces of advice that you wish you could give to your former self that maybe people watching this video can reap the benefits of?
I wish I had been more confident as a teenager, but I think we all had peer pressure, and I think that's almost
Confidence also does come with age. It comes
Absolutely.
with a level of seasonality.
Yes, and knowledge. I mean, you don't know everything. I mean, I love learning things. I mean, it's fascinating. And just sticking to your guns, just not being swayed by things that, like, why did I really listen to that person? Or,
Which also comes with confidence, right?
Yes, yeah. And I think that's just layers of living.